The bar for business communication is extremely, extremely low. So what's ordinary for a lot of people is what I call about 20%. So if you think about from 0 to 100, really when you think about that scale right there, the top part is marquee speakers. Those are the phenomenal speakers out there. And there are the speakers who can actually break all the rules, but because they have a name to them, they can be at the top people. So if you have somebody that you think, oh, wow, that person, it may be on the left side of politics, right side of politics. It might be in celebrities. It might be in comedy. It might be whatever it is that you watch or wherever it is that you go to listen to a public speaker. They're from the 80 to 100, and they're really a marquee. So if you go to a conference, their name is something that draws people to it. They're worldwide known. When you go into a marketplace, there they are, and you see them and you go, wow, it's them. They're the showstoppers at the airport. Now, those are 80 to above. Then there are the people who are professional speakers. And when they're doing their job of professional speaking, they have their keynote speech dialed in 60 to 80%. And sometimes just regular business communicators and regular entrepreneurs and real estate agents and others can be in that 60 to 80. Then for the majority of people, you're going to find people living in the 0 to 60 when it comes to public speaking. And the 0 to 20 is pretty darn bad. But when I look at the communication landscape, whether it's working at a conference or whether it's working with one of my clients, what I see on and on again is that the ordinary level of communication is at around 20. Yikes, that's not a good spot to be. So this could be a nurse who's communicating and giving an update to the team. This could be whether it's a principal who's talking to their entire school. This happens again and again and again. And a lot of people are just ordinary in their level of communication. So if you want to go from ordinary and you want to go up from a 20, which is ordinary, the average, and you want to go up to maybe a 30, a 40, if you want to go above and beyond 50 and 60 and really become amazing, if you want to get to the realm where you get paid to speak, you get into the 60s and 70s, and then really the marquee, well, that breaks all the rules. So how do you do that? How do you go from ordinary to extraordinary? Now, I'm going to talk to you about 4 different verbs that are going to be really helpful for you. So this is going to take you from ordinary to extraordinary in 4 different actions. Here are the actions. The first one is awareness. You need to be aware of what you're doing. I'll break this down a little bit more. Second one is that you need to learn what to do differently. I'll take this through and help you through understand a little bit more in a moment. Then the third one is that you need to practice, you need to do it. And the fourth one is repeat and start all over. And you put this into a cycle. Okay, let's break this down. First of all, for you to go from ordinary to extraordinary, you need awareness. I think over the last 4 years of doing this full time, and I've been doing this for 20 years, of working with communicators of all sorts, here's what I've realized. A lot of people have no idea what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing well, and they don't know what they're doing really poorly. Think about it like this. If I had something, and hopefully I don't, okay, I don't. If I had something in my teeth right now and I wasn't aware of it, the whole time you would be watching this and you'd be thinking, Mike, you got something in your teeth. Please take it out. Please take it out. And I would be completely unaware. Now, later on, I would watch it and go, oh my gosh, I had this big, huge lettuce piece. But because of my awareness, my lack of awareness, I couldn't do anything about it. And I talked about this as the lettuce in the teeth moment. So really, you need awareness of what you're doing. So how do you get awareness? There's a couple different ways you can get awareness. One is you can watch back the videos that you do on Zoom, record yourself. Sometimes you can just set up your phone and you can just watch yourself. You can do a live stream. Hey, there you go. And you can watch yourself back. I love the awareness that comes to me after I do a training event. And then the event organizer does a poll to the participants. And then I get awareness of what really clicked with people and what didn't click with people. So you can get feedback from somebody that you trust, from you admire. Not all feedback is going to bring you the right awareness. So it's really good to get awareness from somebody who you admire, you trust. Also, be aware that even if you admire and trust somebody, that person's awareness might actually be filtered through the lens of what they do. So, for example, if I was getting feedback from somebody who's just outrageously quiet and super soft spoken and would take long times to think about something and then to respond, they might say to me that, Mike, your casual manner of speaking is something that you need to change. So you got to be very careful that when you're going to get some feedback, you need to have some people who see you for your strengths instead of just through their strengths. But that awareness is crucial. You can't change. You can't go from ordinary to extraordinary if you're not aware of what you're doing well so you can repeat it, and what you're doing poorly so you can stop it. Where can you get awareness? One of the things that I always do when I'm working with people is we record it. Just yesterday, I was working with a gentleman, and he's just a great guy. We're talking about it. And right after we finished, I said, hey, let's go ahead and close out a Zoom and just come right back in so that we can watch what you're doing and we can watch it together. And I can show you, I can give you my eyes and filtered for you on what you're doing. So where can you get awareness on your speaking? Maybe it's even you just ask somebody to hold your phone while you're giving a report and you watch it back and you start getting awareness. So got to get awareness, got to get awareness, got to get awareness. Second of all, you got to learn what to do differently. I love this example when I went to work with a golf instructor and he said, Mike, go hit some balls. So I'm hitting some balls and he recorded a lot of them. And he's like, all right, so this is what you're doing. I'm watching. Okay. And he goes, now this is what you should be doing. And he overlaid the golfer Tiger Woods on top of me. And I could see what I was doing and I could see what he was doing. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, I got it. So the follow through isn't just simply right here, it's all the way back here. And I didn't know that. It was a brand new piece of information. So let me give you some things that are very common that you perhaps could learn. One of them is this: pause. Pause, 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 pause. I'm sure I'll do a video and live stream on this later, but the absolute need to pause more often. When you pause, all kinds of magic happens that I'm sure I'll unpack in several different videos because I feel like I could just talk about pausing. And I talked about it in my last book. I'm like, hey, if there's one thing that you should do, it's to pause. So maybe you need to learn how to pause. Maybe it's that you need to learn how to modulate your voice up and down and fast and slow. Maybe that's something that as you watch yourself, you have the same tone consistently throughout the entire time you're talking. So you need to modulate so you're not monotonous or monotone. Maybe what you need to do is make sure that your pearly whites are seen. That means that you're actually opening up your mouth and not mumbling. Maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe you need to work on using these. These are called your hands, and you're using some hands in it. Maybe you need to learn how to use your humor, and whatever type of humor you have, you can lean into that. What is that you need to learn? So I could unpack a whole bunch of different things. There's about 55 different skills that you could learn just in terms of representing. There's about 20 different messaging techniques that you can use, but these are all different things that you can learn and that you can apply once you learn it, once you are aware of what you're doing. So what is it that you can learn? Maybe you pick up a book, or maybe you watch a video and you just take one lesson and you understand it. Now, once you understand it cognitively, you got to get into the third action. So we get awareness, be aware. And then second one, well, you got to learn something. You got to learn what to do differently. By the way, it's very important that when you learn what you're doing well and what got you to where you are, that you keep doing this and you then learn some things that will add to what you're already doing well. And the third one is you need to practice it. Now, this gets to be one of my pet peeves because I think if you and I were working together with a golf instructor and he says, okay, this is what you need to do. This is how you need to hold it. This is how you need to position yourself. This is how you need to swing. This is how you need to hold your arms. And this is how you need to finish. And he goes, okay, I want you to practice that. And if we said, forget it, I got it. And we just go to the golf range right afterwards and we go play a game of golf, would we be able to do what we just learned? And the answer is a little bit of it. But you and I know that we just learned all the stuff and we need now to get the muscle memory of it. We need to practice and practice and practice and practice in order to be able to do. And for some reason, people think that they can skip this third step. Oh, here's what I'm doing wrong. Oh, here's what I need to be doing. Okay, I'll go do it. And really, if I were to compare speaking with anything, I would compare it to a sport. you can't just jump into that soccer skill that you learned by watching YouTube video. You got to practice, 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 practice. So where are some places you could practice? You could be in some small groups. You could be in you could work one-on-one with somebody. You could work in front of the mirror. You could record yourself. You could do it with your spouse. You could do it in a Toastmasters club. You could do a public speaking group with your staff, with your coworkers. There's a lot of different places that you could practice. You could even just practice in your car, some of the things that we're talking about. There's all kinds of ways to practice. But if you want to go from ordinary to extraordinary, it doesn't just happen by going, oh, that's what I'm doing wrong. Okay, no, this is what I need to do. Done. No, no, no. That's not how it works. You got to first be aware, and then you got to learn, and then you got to practice, 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 practice. If you think about it like levels, think about levels of practice that you go level 1, level 2, level 3. When you finally get through and just deeper and deeper into practice, that's when you can really effectively do. If you were to talk to any great sports player, how many years did you practice to get to the spot where you are? It's years. I still practice. I mean, you think about the great people out there, they're continuing to practice that which they do extremely well. So, awareness, that's where it starts. You got to be aware. Then you got to learn what you need to do differently, what's going to add to your repertoire. Then you need to practice, practice, practice. And then the fourth one is you need to repeat. So once you get there, it's not like, hey, I've got it. I figured it out. I'm a great public speaker. Now you need to go back and watch it. You need to go be aware of what you're doing, get more feedback. I still get feedback after I do different things. I'm like, okay, what went well right there? And I still actually even work with some of my other public speaking coaches, and we'll give each other feedback and such so that we can get better from that performance that we did on stage or that thing that we were doing. And in fact, I'm sure I'll get some feedback even from doing some of this. And then I go back and I'm like, okay, that's the awareness for the live stream. Okay, I got it. Okay, that's what I need to learn to do differently. You know what? How do you do this? Or how do you set that up? Okay, then practice, practice, practice. Now, these 4 steps, these 4 actions will take you from that 20, from that 15, from maybe that 25, if you're above average, and it will steadily move you up the ranks so that you can be an extraordinary speaker. Now, I just started doing this yesterday. I'm going to do a live stream every single day. That's my challenge. That's what I'm going for. I'm going to do it on multiple different platforms. So I'd love for you to share it around, like, comment, send me a little message or something. Tell me what you want to hear me talk about, because I'm going to be doing this and I would love to give you what you want in the midst of all of this kind of public speaking coaching. Until next time, talk to you later.